Hello, welcome to our TSI Nexus demo. Go to our GitHub and clone our project. I've just done that. I've got the project files here. Then I'll sort of take you through the installation steps. First, you need to have a Docker Compose. And then you also need to have an LLM because the project needs an LLM endpoint. So I have a Gemma running on one of my machines. So I have this. It's a 26 billion parameter model. I'm sort of running it on my other machine, and so you have to set it up and start it. In my case, it is sort of running. So this is one step, and I've got a Docker Compose going. And next is I need to have a like an ENV setup. So where you configure the LLM and also you define the application port and the database port, etc. So in my case, I have this ENV example, all that, and I also have copied it to a .env. So I'm sort of good to go. So the first thing that I will do is I will go here and then do a nvn package. Right, it sort of builds everything for me, and then I do a Docker Compose up and I do a build also. Right. So that's it. So my services are up and running. Yeah. So after that, I'll go and set up my Nexus system. So I will go to a separate browser window. Running on 8084. I do a setup. Right, the platform opens up the setup screen. I give my credentials. So the account is set up. I can log into TSI Nexus admin console now. So this is the admin console. As you can see, there is a dashboard with some matrices, and there is a context graph, which is the knowledge graph. Let me sort of zoom this for you. I hope this is better. So you have the context graph, and there is just one entity, which is the officer, right? Entity by default, and the relationships can also be set up, right? Can set up a new entity by going to the pop-up. Similarly, you can define these relationships. Right, and there is an intelligence setup, right? So here on the top, as you see, it says online, which means that the Nexus application is able to connect with the Gemma LLM, right? And it is running. And on the intelligence, you can define like your institutional vocabulary, and also you can define your comments. I will come to all that in a bit. And then you can also define your guard rails, which is like rules that needs to be executed. I have the API key, so when you want to connect to TSI Nexus through another application, you sort of register, get an API key and a secret, use that. And I can also add users here. So I can say this is a staff, so I'm just saying okay. I've got a user also here. So I also have the context cards. These context cards are so when we retrieve the information pertaining to an entity, it all shows up in a context card. And we also have input manifest, so where you define forms, you generate them dynamically through AI. There is an interaction stream, so all the data that is coming into this TSI Nexus system, they show up here. There is a service registry module where you can define external APIs for push and pull of data. There is an audit trail, and finally there is a report. Right, so now I have this set up and I've looked into the admin console. So the next step is for me to simulate a real system. So how do I do it? We have created a seed module, right? So I just go there by going into seed. So if you see where you can define your institutional details, so you can define your industry context, you can define your data flavor and traits, entity types, you can set it, but the AI can also suggest. I'll show that in a bit. So we have this documentation here, where there are few sample document types, institutional types have been set. So I will pick up one which is the microfinance. So there is an industry context here. I'll just copy it and paste it here. So I've given some industry context, and then I've given the data flavor. Entity types and counts. So I will sort of giving it a high level flavor there. So the AI will sort of generate so now once I do it, so I do an AI suggest, it sort of connects me to the LLM. It takes a little bit of time because I'm running my LLM partly on GPU and partly on partly on VRAM and partly on RAM, so that's why it takes a little bit of time. So now as you can see, it has identified these are the key entity types for this microfinance business. Similarly, for the commands and guardrails also, I can actually give some seed data. So my AI engine will go and generate the commands and the guardrails for me automatically. So I do here and do an AI suggest. It takes a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, it has come up with these commands: disperse, collect, verify, onboard, reschedule, attend, etc. Right? So now once this is done, I can set some simulation parameters here, and I can bootstrap the institution. Right? So now this bootstrapping, what it is going to do, it is going to create these digital twins, relationships, interactions, all of these. It's going to pre-populate so that the system is should look like a live system, right? So that is the idea. I'm going to click on the bootstrap institution. So this is going to take a good amount of time for me. So I'm going to go on pause. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, I hope it is recording. So the seating process is just completed. As you can see, maybe I will. Yeah, as you can see, I think the seed utility, it simulated 105 digital twins, 5 relationships, a bunch of data, right? So we will go back to the admin console and see how they look. But before that, there is one important thing. So what happens is this TSI Nexus, it talks to other systems through APIs. So in our case, for the demo, we have created a mock service, and for the mock service to work, the seed utility had to generate a mock data JSON. So that JSON the seed utility would have created. I am just downloading it here, and so it will be like a simple JSON file. So I go here, so it sort of looks like this. What I need to do, there is a mock server that we are maintaining. It's a simple Java service. So there is a mock data JSON. So I sort of copy that, because the reason why I do that JSON will be relevant for this data exchange. So I copied this mock data service. Then one other thing I do is, so there is a mock service, right? So this mock service, under the TSI Nexus, there is a mock folder. So there you have this Java class. So you just have to compile that and call, right? So Java mock server, right? So what it will do is it will pick up the mock data JSON, and using that and as you can see, it sort of runs on port 9090. So the TSI Nexus platform will sort of connect to this mock service on this port, right? So hope this is clear, right? So now let's go back to our the admin console. As you can see, whatever the mock data that we have added, they're all showing up here. There are 106 entities. All of these data is there, and also if you see the context graph, you can see all the nodes. There are so many members. It sort of populated the data. The relationships are there. Intelligence setup is also there, and as you can see, these commands are also generated. It is for collecting repayment, disperse for dispersing loan, history, member history, all of these it sort of generates. And now even the guardrails have been created. So block, closed account, restrict. So this is how you sort of define this, and you can see the details. So what happened was, our seed utility automatically created all of these. So the idea is for us to get a jump start. All these guardrails are use this SQL table, SQL query for sort of validating. The instructions are there on your right side. If you go through, then you will sort of understand. So that is the core engine bit. Now of course you can come back and generate a API. The system also has created few context cards, right? So for different kinds of entities. So if it is a member, there is a member profile it created, and so it sort of looks like this, right? And similarly, JLG is a joint liability group loan. So like that, and for the loan account profile, etc., it sort of creates the template. So now this there is another tool called Liquid, which I will introduce shortly. It will use that, and it will, when I demo it along with that, then all of these will start to make sense. There is also an input manifest. These are nothing but the forms. The forms, it's sort of generated based on the seed data that I populated, right? So there are these member assets, JLG, field officer, loan account, etc. So there are these interaction streams. I think during the seed it also pushed in some interactions just to make things realistic here. So there is a member called Rohan Das. He has requested a statement here. Sunitha Paul, she has maintained a perfect repayment record for. So all of these are streams that are coming. It is coming to your knowledge graph, and then the other bit is the service registry. Using the service registry, we will sort of connect with all different other systems in our enterprise. So now, so this is this mock. This one, so this sort of connects to our the mock service that we sort of created, and so one thing that you can do is you can just ping and check if it is working, right? So it should be pinging. Okay, so some of them are not working, that is fine. Yeah, so hopefully now you got a better feel for the admin console with some real data populated. Now, how do we really work with this? So we've created a digital brain for the enterprise. So now, how do we work with it? How do we access? This is where our next tool comes. It's called the Liquid. Liquid is it's called the Liquid. Right? It's just a very simple. It's just a one-pager type tool, and where you can sort of ask anything. On the right side, it sort of uses the context information to show the either the forms or the the context cards, right? So now there are on the left side. So there are few examples for you. So like try asking this, right? And then below that you also see what you can do. So it sort of also tells you based on the commands that we have populated. It also gave you an example set of commands that you can run, and you can also do a quick access to the various entities here. So for example, let me pick up this members and Anjali Singh, and what happens is it sort of opens so I just selected this Anjali Singh. So on the left, on the field, it populated Anjali Singh, and then the engine sort of took that and determined it needs to present the context card here. So the context card is actually sort of defined here. So for example, the member profile that you see here is exactly what is getting presented here, and as you can see, there are you have the member and then all the connections. So this is where the graph bit is coming. I can like navigate into the connection, and then I can also see all the interactions, right? So this is your context card. So typically you organize information this way, then it will be easy for your sort of LLM to to sort of give you a lot more accurate responses. So okay, so this is a simple context card, and you can also do things like, instead of that, you can also do how is Anjali Singh doing. So in that case, what really happens is, so if it is like a non-standard type thing, the input gets fed into the LLM. In my case, it is the Gemma 26 billion parameter model, and so Gemma sort of translates that. Okay, so he is actually looking for this Anjali Singh's context card, right? So that is how it sort of works. So let's do slightly more complicated. So in this case, okay, I want to collect Anjali Sharma's this one. So then it sort of pulls up the Anjali Sharma. So she has a loan account. Then I can say, okay, I can pull the loan account. So here, so I do that, and I do the collection and come back, and it comes back here. Once again, maybe something is so. If you now, you can just go and see, okay, /collect, it is supposed to if there is a link to form associated with it. So when I click on collect, it is supposed to open up the loan account field review form, and then upon entering that information, it needs to come. Some reason it has not come. So what I will do is, okay, there is something called a run diagnostics. I think it is determined that there is a component which is sort of wrong. So what I can do an auto fix, right? Okay, so now it has done an auto fix. So now I go back to my lookkit and do again collect from Anjali Sharma, and if you see now, then it sort of shows up. So this is how it sort of works. So on my intelligence engine, so I define these commands. These commands will, you'll say, okay, so to which entity type is this linked to? So in this case, it is the loan account, and to which is it linked to a form? If it is a form, then it sort of takes me the control into that form, and then finally it comes and shows my loan account sort of profile. So now what you can do is, so when I'm collecting the form, while reading the form, you can use the service registry to pull information from other systems. So for example, if it is so in this case, this is a collection, right? So I need the demand, etc. So I can, ideally I should be able to hook it up via hook up the loan management system via my service registry, get the demand, and then let's say when payment is done, then I can push back to the loan management system through the service registry, right? So this is how it has been envisaged, and there is also a set of policy guards here. So if the account is closed, then just sort of block it, don't even come, right? So like this, you can define your command, and this is the core of the system and which works on top of your LLM and the context graph, right? So this is how it sort of works. So now that you're able to see the collect, and we can try the other ones. The other one is like reports, right? So this one, let me see. Yeah, so in this case, for some reason this data is not coming. It's supposed to come. Yeah, so but from the mock, the API integration should sort of kick in, and from the mock, I think you should ideally see. It was working some time back earlier, but for some reason during the demo it always happens. right? So that is what is that is how it sort of works. Hope this was helpful. I can go around, look at all different entities, open up their card. Here all of these informations are showing up, but in some cases it's not showing up. So but this is how it sort of works. Hope this was helpful. Thank you.